Hotep family, or as our sisters and brothers say in Ghana, Akwaba. Edward Landry here, and in reverence to and out of respect for our African ancestors, and in service to the African community, I offer this lesson. Your feedback and comments are greatly appreciated, and if you so desire, you could like, share, and subscribe. So here is one of the most profound quotes that I've come across this year. It's by fella Kuti. It says, and you can read it for yourself, the most revolutionary thing the African can do is to be an African. That is hopefully my goal and hopefully what we will achieve through learning Medu Neter. So this is my first lesson for the calendar year 2025, and it is also my 26th lesson. Uh, I began this project in 2023, January 2023 to be exact. Our story predates his story by tens of thousands of years, and we are able to read our stories because they are still available to us. So, the primary objective of this lesson is to read one of our stories as it is written. We are all students and teachers, and as such, we are in the process of learning Gem Mek Nefer. So, we have examined individual sacred symbols or individual metal netje symbols in earlier lessons. We will focus on this single image to the left as one of our stories. Our ancestors used sacred symbols, such as seen on the left or metal netje, to tell us a complete story. Our story is presented in sacred symbols here, and they're presented here as pictures and as text. We can clearly see a man seated on a stool. His left hand is above a table, and his right hand is holding the Abba scepter. Um, and there is a vulture flying above his head, with one wing covering him and the other wing behind his head. We can also notice that he has some sort of an apron. He's wearing the Nemes uh, crown. He's also barefoot. Uh, what is the meaning of this story? That's what we're going to try to read as we um, read this Medu Neter. So we can first identify the man by reading his Shanu. Uh, this is Nasut Biti Men Ma'at Ra, Sa Ra, Pita Mary In Seti. He is the son of the first Nasut Biti of the 19th dynasty, which lasted from 1340 to 1232 before the Common Era. And he is the father of the third Nasut Biti, uh, Usma'at Ra, Seteptin Ra, Sarah Ra Mesu, Mary Amin. We know his son as Ramesses II, and he is usually identified as Seti I or Seti I. He is the builder of the temple at Abydos, and we did look at that information in an earlier lesson. And flying above the head of Men Ma'at Ra is Neturret Mut. We will look at the specific text later, but we want to note that he is holding the Shanu that is the symbol of eternity in her grasp. So Min Ma'at Ra is sitting on a stool that is supported by the Shema, the symbol of a windpipe and lung, which represents the concept of unity. Min Ma'at Ra is wearing a ush or collar, which has on it the symbol 10. 10 is the what we commonly refer to as the uh, obelisk in our English language. And the ush, again, which we call a collar, is something that is still worn by members of the Zulu nation. So the pictures that we see, the seated man, the stool, the negerette, all give us some information that requires some study that I am still working on. But the story surrounding Ma'at is also written in Middle Necha, and the sentences are divided into columns, what we call sentences. So one column to the far right is partially hidden, but there are three columns that we can uh, clearly see. We will start by reading these three columns to try to better understand the whole picture. So we have to look at this in segments, and we do see, hopefully recognize that the symbol of the all-seeing eye, the uh, the throne, which represents a set in most cases, and the seated netcher as a combination, they represent the netcher usir. So we would transliterate this using the letters W, S, and R in the Roman alphabet. And then we try to pronounce this as Usir. We also know that in other stories, Usir is identified as Osiris. So this is a very interesting set of symbols. It is the suit plant, which represents the uh, upper Nile Valley, the loaf of bread, and the ripple of water. Because of the way it's ordered, it is often identified as Sutan, or can be identified as Sutant. But the scribes like to have things fit into a specific geometric area, like this square specifically. So having the ripple of water first would throw this symmetry off, and so the pronunciation is usually Nasut, where we have the ripple of water being the transliterated first, and then the suit plant, and then the loaf of bread. So I'm going to stick with Nasut as the transliteration of this particular set of metonyms. So here we have, again, fitting in that nice geometric shape, we have the basket without a handle, two tongues of land, and then two more tongues of land. So we transliterate this as Neb Ta'ui, Neb Ta'ui. The basket alone is Neb, the land alone is Ta, and the duality or identify when we want to identify something as having two of a kind, we use the ui. So this is Neb Ta'ui. So the bottom symbol is a Shanu. We already kind of mentioned that. This Shanu is not so different from the Shanu that is in Necheret Mut's clause. It is still the idea of eternity, but this is a name that's going to be living in eternity, and this name is again Men Ma'at Ra. We see the men at the bottom. We see the Necheret Ma'at and the symbol for Ra. So if we read this all together, we get Usir, Nasut, Neb Ta'ui, Men Ma'at Ra. Usir, Nasut, Neb Ta'ui, Men Ma'at Ra. So the first name in the first column is the Nasut Neb Taui name, which is Men Ma'at Ra. And then we look at the next column and we see that it begins with the Sa bird and Ra. So now we will have the Sa Ra name, of the same person. So the next set of symbols are the ripple of water, the animal belly, the loaf of bread, and the horned viper. The horned viper is usually identified as the pronoun he, his, or him, and the river water is identified as the word to, translated as to. So we have to his belly, um, and if we transliterate this, we would get the N for the ripple of water. We get the HT for the belly, and the horned viper is transliterated with the letter F. So we might read this as in het F, to his belonging to his belly. And so next we get what's identified as a channel of water, and again the horned viper. Channel of water is transliterated with the letters MRY. Uh, we kind of say that as Mary, and horned viper is F. Mary, translated in English, is often identified as love, or so we have his love. All right, so in this set of symbols, Middle Nature, I we identify or can identify the Neb symbol, which is translated as Lord, and we have the plural strokes, which is tell us this is Nebu. The symbol to the bottom right is unfamiliar, and I was unable to find it anywhere, so I don't know exactly how to put symbols in for this. So the most I can come up with is Nebu. So the first column identifies the first name or the prenomen. Second column identifies the Sarah name. So if we were to transliterate, and again, I'm using what's known as Roman alphabet says by transliteration. So we get Sarah, N het F, Mary F, Nebu, and then we read the Shanu as Ptah, Mary, and Seti. So we have Sa, Ra, En, Het, F, Mary, F, Nabu, Ptah, Mary, and Seti. So moving to the third column in this series, we have the Ma'a Ker E. Ma'a Ker E. So this we have the sickle, which is Ma'a, the little rectangular symbol in front, is just another symbol for M. The arm and hand is A, and then we have the symbol that by itself below the arm and hand is uh, is again A. And then we have the placenta, which is a dark circle. And we have the mouth below that, and we had the reed leaf, and so that is Care E. And again, we see the all-seeing eye, the throne of Aset, and the seated Necher, and we know that that is Usir. Again, transliterated using these Roman symbols, we get WSR. And again, we could call him Osiris, but I like Usir. And just below Usir, we see the three jugs and the two loaves of bread and the symbol of a realm and a symbol of land. So we can transliterate this as Kenti. Kenti, again, identifying some particular location, and we know that based on the bottom left symbol, which is a it looks like three mountains, but it represents a land area. So read all together, we get Ma'akeri, which again loosely translates to uh, truth belongs to him, Usir, which makes sense. truth belongs to him. Usir, and Usir is over the area that we identify here as Kenti. Usir of Kenti. So, what do we have in this fragment of a story? Again, we do not have the full picture because whatever was on the right side of the screen is not available. But we do see that um, we have Usir in front of the name of Men Ma'ad Ra, and he's identified as the Nasud Biti of the two lands of Neb Tahui. And he is the son of the sun, the Sarah, who belongs to and is loved by the Lord, um, the multiple lords, and his name there is Ptah, Mary, and Seti. And this is true to the words of Usir, who is above and belongs to or ruler of Kenti. Okay, so right above Men Ma'at head, we see the suit plant. Again, slightly different from the other suit plant because this one isn't fully grown, so it represents growth. And next to growth, we see the new jar, the leg and a foot, and that's beyond that is a determinative, and together that gives us the idea of light. That's noob, somehow relating to light. We also again have the city, the circular uh, symbol at the bottom identifies this as a city. The two strokes tells me that it's going to end with the letter Y. So we have the N and Y. So I have NT, but above that, I don't recognize that symbol and have not been able to identify it anywhere. But then we have the loaf of bread that's in the form of a triangle, and that is transliterated with the letters DI, and it means to give. And then we have Seneb. So we have give, and Seneb. Seneb is health. And then we have Ankh, which is everlasting life. And then we have next to last, we have the was symbol, which is power or leadership or rulership. So we have Sut, Noob, Neti, D, Seneb, Ankh, was. So this might be read as Sut, Noob, T, D, Seneb, Ankh, was. Possible translation: grow bright, Newt, give health, everlasting life, and power forever. Okay, that's the reading of the canoe that's being held by Moot. Okay, again, not easy to translate, so I'm just giving it my best shot. Okay, so this last column again, in the back of the um, Men Ma'at Ra, we get Sa, which is a symbol for protection. Ankh, Ankh is everlasting life. Jed is the Jed column, which is strength. Was again the symbol of authority or strength. We have Seneb. In this case, we have more than the folded cloth. The folded cloth by itself symbolizes Seneb, but in this case is written out. So we have the folded cloth, the ripple of water, the leg and the foot. Additionally, we have the book roll, which means that in this case we're talking about the idea of Seneb, of the idea of health. And Neb Aui is Aui is sort of the backbone of an animal. So we have Lord of the physical backbone. Uh, then we have Ib Neb. Ibd is heart. So we have when it's with the T, it's female. So we have Ibt Neb, female heart, of the Lord. Ha'ef Neb. Ha'ef is translated as would that he, would that he, Lord, and it's me is again the milk jug, and below that the reed leaf is me, and that's translated as like me Ra. So like Ra, and then we have yet. Uh, it is said. It is said yet. Ren. Uh, in the name, Ren is usually name, and we have Hehe. So this kind of looks like, again, the order doesn't fit our so-called English sentence structure, but the last part is me ra, so it's like ra. Jeti is said by, and it is said in Hehe, in his name, eternity, for eternity. So we have Sa, protection, Ankh, everlasting life, Jed, strength, was, power, Seneb, health, and Neb, Awi, Ibti, Neb, such that Ha'ef, Neb, Mi, Ra, Jeti, Ren, Hehe. Not easy to translate. At some point, we need to get together and put our heads together and try to figure out exactly what is being said. All right, so the last set of symbols we could look at is those that are right above the left arm of men, uh, Maat Ra. We see the new jar above a leg and a foot, so there's the activity of water being poured out. The three ripples of water represent water, uh, and so this is new, and that's Ra. And then we have the plurality, so we have new Ra T, and this is the symbol for the placenta, which is Ka, like in the plural strokes below that would be Kau, and then we have Netjer, and then Pen beyond that. So that would give us Webeni, Ra, Netjer, Kau, Pen. Not really sure what that translates to, and but that's the best I could do. Okay, so that's my best effort at reading this particular um, set of texts. It's a daunting task, and so I am organizing an online study group starting next month, uh, and I need people to work with me. So if you're interested in participating and helping to learn how to read Medo please reach out to me at iamallafrican@gmail.com. Until next time we meet, Shem Hotep.